Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Veda and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel, I show you how my family is using the zero-based budgeting method in order to get out of debt and simplify our financial life. Except today, I'm showing you guys how to make a charcuterie board. So if that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay. I don't know why, but I have like first time filming jitters in the making of this video. This is long awaited and we've been chatting about it for a while. And I'm actually really excited to do something like this on my channel. If you would have told me that I would be doing a how-to charcuterie tutorial on YouTube, I would have laughed at you. Of course, if you would have told me that I would have a budgeting YouTube channel, I would have also laughed at you. So, you know, I guess anything's possible. I guess that's the lesson today. Don't let your memes be dreams, kids. Anyway, I am going to show you how I throw together a charcuterie board. Now listen, I'm going to, I don't know, have like a couple disclaimers. I'm going to call them disclaimers. First of all, I know that there are going to be people who are like, that is not a real charcuterie board because it doesn't come from the charcuterie region of France or whatever. Because there are people who are like very, very particular about terminology. What I will say to that, and this is to encourage you too, this is, we're playing it fast and loose with the word charcuterie, okay? We're not being official. We're not being French. We're just throwing together a lovely meat and cheese board that we can share with our friends and family. That's what this is about. The other thing that this is not going to be is a thing that you worry about having like proper pairings. So don't worry about the meats that you're choosing and the cheeses that you're choosing and if they go with this wine or that wine or whatever. Just put on this board what makes you happy. That is the point of it at the end of the day, because when we are feeding people in our lives, we're doing it with love. And so if you've found a cheese or three that you really love and a meat that you really love and a dip or a spread or some olives or some pickles or whatever, this is just about having some fun, being a little artistic, and putting this out as like a nice little snacky bit for a holiday meal, a night with girlfriends, or just you. I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm probably going to be the person who snacks on this for the rest of the week. So I am going to go ahead and start putting everything on the board that I purchased so that you can see what it looks like in the packaging. So that if you do want to kind of duplicate this almost exactly, you'll know exactly what I've purchased and where I've purchased it from. That's a key point here as well. But then also just, I think sometimes it helps to just kind of see the packaging. And also it's cool when you see it all in the packaging. And then when you see the finished product, you're like, no way did all of that become this. So let's just get started. First up, these are my most favorite things on the planet. You can get this, most of this, real talk, most of this is from Trader Joe's. So if you don't have a Trader Joe's near you, I promise you that that's okay. And if you just go to like a nicer grocery store, they're usually the ones that have like nice, like charcuterie sections that you can get stuff like this in. And so just know that you don't have to duplicate it exactly, but this is something that I always throw on a charcuterie board because it's marinated. So it's got lots of like spices and seasonings and herbs and stuff like that in it. And I just love mozzarella. It's one of my favorite cheeses. And I make sure to always have some version of mozzarella on my charcuterie board. But if I see this in the store, it's coming home with me, like hands down. So that's first step. I'll just show you my cheeses. This one, I don't even remember what video I told you guys about this in, but I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. It is in Trader Joe's now. Go, if you're a fan of brie, go pick this up. It is my favorite brie, and you'll see it's exactly what it says. It's a square of soft ripened cheese, and it's so good. It tastes so good on crackers that aren't flavored and don't have any like special seasonings. It tastes good with jams. It tastes good all by itself. I love this cheese. I would eat it all day, every day if it was available year round. So definitely check out Trader Joe's if you have one near you, because it's out this time of year. And then last up, because I kept it relatively simple as far as the cheeses go, I found this one in Trader Joe's a couple weeks ago. I think it was still there, but I saved it for this charcuterie. It's just an aged sheep's milk cheese. I've never tried this before, but I know my cheese taste at this point. So seeing this there, like I was like, oh my gosh, I have to pick this up because it's marinated in, what does this say? Corna Cabra extra virgin olive oil. I love when cheeses are marinated, obviously, because I showed you guys this one earlier. And Trader Joe's usually has ones that are like soaked in wine. Like they always have like a really cool selection of things. And there's going to be a ton of like, oh, you should have like a blue cheese and like a sharp cheddar or whatever. Again, this board is all about sharing yummy food with people that you love. So don't worry about the rules. Just do what makes you happy. And that's what I picked up. I picked up 3 cheeses that I knew would make me happy. And so that's what we did. And so that's what this guy is. Then I'm going to just move on to our meats here. This is also from Trader Joe's. I don't know if you guys are like me, anything truffle. I know it is definitely an acquired taste. For those of you who are not familiar, truffles basically taste and smell like feet. Like there's just no other way of explaining them. Truffles are a very specific kind of mushroom that are like found by pigs, I think. And I'm sure like, I don't know, like the growing practices and stuff like that are different now. Maybe they're not, I don't know. Somebody is going to have to let me know in the comments if you do know. But this is a salami that has like truffle in it, and I just love it. I love it all by itself. Like I can really just sit here and munch on this, but I usually will mix it with like a brie, because the like tanginess of a brie with the like weirdo flavor of truffles just makes me really happy. I don't know why. You guys are probably learning more about me today than you ever cared to, but this is first up on the meats. And then the other ones I just kind of kept simple. So I've got these 2 packages. These are also both from Trader Joe's. I always look for stuff like this. If you are just throwing together a charcuterie board for friends and family and you want it to be simple and small, just go with like a little pack like this, because this has salami in it, prosciutto in it, and capicola in it. And so you've got 3 different meat selections here that look pretty and will kind of have a little bit of varied flavors and stuff like that. And it's just gonna please like the most people, which again, I know we said, this is really just about like feeding people food that you love, but it just has more variety in it, I guess. And they're kind of different and they taste different when you pair them with different cheeses and stuff. But again, don't worry about the pairings. If you like the way that it tastes, that's all that matters. I promise you. People who are picking at your charcuterie board are going to find something to love, and they're going to go back for it. And you're going to go back for the things that you love. So that's why it's important to put what you like on your charcuterie board. And then they also have this applewood smoked salami. I love the flavor of this one. And my kids will actually eat salami and like pepperoni and stuff like that. So I always make sure to have like extra of what I know they're going to eat on my charcuterie board, because they don't really gravitate toward like the cheeses and things. When I put veggies on it, which I'm not going to be doing today, but that's the beauty of charcuterie boards. You can kind of do whatever you want with them. But whenever I am doing one that my kids are going to like be partaking from, I always make sure to include veggies, because they actually like a lot of like raw veggies. But they like salami too. So that's why I made sure to buy this one today for this board, because, you know, I don't want to be the only person eating the charcuterie board after I put it together. So, and that's that for the meats. Really simple. And then I did grab these from Whole Foods. They are lemon and garlic marinated olives. They are so good. They also have Parmesan cheese on them. They are so, so delicious. I am not even an olive person, and I love these guys. So if you see them, and they always have a variety of different olives available in their like cheese, like their specialty food section. I love Whole Foods for charcuterie things too. It's nice when you go into a grocery store and everything is kind of collectively put out there for you and like displayed, and you can just kind of pick at things and grab it for your own board. Then I have 3 different crackers, and I'll explain why. These brioche toasts, these are from Trader Joe's, and guys, let me tell you something. I can eat them by themselves. They're so, so delicious. They are exactly like they sound. It's a brioche bread that they have turned into these little toast things. Now, they are very delicate and they crumble very easily. You'll see when I like lay all this stuff out on the board, like just how easily they break. I mean, I only put the whole ones out on my board, and then I snack on the other ones on the side. Shh, don't tell. So I always make sure to only put these on my charcuterie board if I have a brie present, because brie cheese is soft and it's easily spreadable, and it's not gonna like break your cracker. But this is not a guy you want to serve with cheddar or something like that, because it's, I mean, you can't really spread it, and so like eating it would be awkward. And you'll see, because they're like actually a decent sized cracker too, so you really want something that you can spread, like a goat cheese or like a brie. It's just much easier to handle on something like this. And then I always, Trader Joe's has, not this one, this is from Whole Foods, but Trader Joe's has crackers like this. Whole Foods has crackers like this. I've seen these in just about every grocery store. You can get, so this is cranberry and hazelnut, and I just thought, oh, that's very like autumnal, so that will be keeping with the theme, because it is around Thanksgiving. But yeah, so I picked these guys up because they taste good with like every cheese. If it's a really sharp cheese, they taste really good because they're usually a little sweeter. If it's a really creamy, soft cheese, they're fun to spread on there, like a goat, like I said, like a goat cheese or a brie with these guys. Same with this as well. It's so versatile, and it just tastes good with everything. Even if you just spread jam on them, it's a little bit of like sweetness overkill, but like it still somehow tastes good. And of course, these also taste good just by themselves. And then last up, I picked these up simply because they were on sale at Whole Foods. These are also from Whole Foods. And I like anything, any kind of like crispy, crunchy cracker that's going to be versatile and go with everything. So that is kind of what this guy is. It is olive oil and sea salt like flavored. But those are flavors that are just compatible with everything. And the cracker is like a rustic flatbread. It's really, really versatile as far as what it's going to be compatible with on your board here. So you don't have to worry about competing flavors or anything like that. But again, like I mentioned in the beginning, if you like it and you think it tastes good, that's really all that matters here. So I'm going to move our crackers and then get into our little extras that I picked up here. And I'll explain why I chose what I chose in just a little bit. So I have 3 different things here that I'm going to be adding in as like asides on the board. And I'm mentioning this kind of stuff, especially with the non-perishables, like the crackers and like these nuts and caramels and things like that. Save them, especially during this time of year. They're not going to go bad. And then you're going to be able to reuse a lot of the stuff, because charcuterie can be expensive. Even like a board, like a smaller board, is going to be pricey. So definitely save all of your non-perishables, reuse them until you run out of them. It's going to save you lots of money. And this is a budgeting channel, so like let's keep that in mind. This is also from Trader Joe's. Let me tell you guys, the reason why I hit up their food for my charcuterie boards is because they always have stuff like this that is so charcuterie friendly. Little snacky bits that you can kind of throw out on your board that really just kind of bring the whole thing together. This is their Nuts About Rosemary mix. It's just nuts, a variety of different nuts that have like a little bit of rosemary flavoring on them. Rosemary is just so complimentary with meats and cheeses. And so that's why I went with this. Plus rosemary kind of like smells like Christmas, I swear. So it's definitely a good one, but they have a variety of different like nut and snack mixes in their store. So just walk around. If you've never been in a Trader Joe's, walk around, get familiar with it, look at everything, and then kind of decide what you want to bring home with you. And then because I felt like, I don't know, like let's make this like a fun, like chocolate cheese, like a sweet and salty kind of compatible board. I went with these little English toffee bites. I don't know why. They just spoke to me. It might be the Christmassy packaging, but I have had other versions of this from Trader Joe's before, so I knew that, you know, I liked the flavor of it, and I thought it would be pretty just kind of like dotted around the board. And I'll show you how, like, I'm literally going to get into the nitty-gritty of throwing this together with you guys, but I wanted to show you each item too so that you could kind of see what we were looking at. And then I got these dark chocolate sea salt caramels. I love this. This is sort of like any person who loves a salty and a sweet with chocolate, this just kind of hits that note. And I'm probably just going to dot them around the board too. They're just fun to throw in at the last minute. And then very last up is fig butter. This is also from Trader Joe's, and I'm just going to put this on a little dish because it's going to taste really good with the brie on a cracker, or whatever cheese you like on a cracker. If you like the way that this tastes with cheddar, actually this would taste fantastic with like a really sharp cheddar. But the point of this is to honor your taste buds. So don't worry about what you think other people are going to think tastes good together. If you like the flavor, that's it. That's going to be my mantra for today. If you like it and you think it tastes good, that's all that really matters. So I love figs. And so that's why I picked this up to kind of just include on the charcuterie board, because I know I'm going to love this with pretty much all of the cheeses that I have here, except for that marinated, the marinated mozzarella, like not really compatible flavors in my point of view. So that is that. So that's what we're working with today. And I am going to off camera prep all of the stuff, and then we'll come back and I'll just throw the charcuterie board together so that you guys can see how it's done. Alrighty, so I am back. I've gotten everything, I think, mostly set up, but also part of the fun of this, of building one, is just kind of like chatting through the process, because it is so artistic that it's really difficult to just like give you like this is exactly what it should look like, or this is exactly how you should do this, or whatever. This is just how I do it. And the process changes a lot, but it ends up working out every time. So just trust the process is really the moral of the story here. And also, before I move forward, this board was one that I actually got in the like scratch and dent section of Magnolia down in Waco, Chip and Joanna's place. So I wouldn't even be able to point you in the direction of where you could find something like this. I will look and see if I do like happen upon it, but otherwise, unfortunately, it's not something that I can direct you to. Maybe. We'll see. Anyways, so I'm just going to jump right into it. I know everybody kind of handles this a little bit differently, but this is usually what I do. I always take my favorite cheese and I just kind of put it right in the center. It's like the feature point. Now, this is one that I do not cut up. I kind of just like let people hack into it as they see fit, because some people like the rind and some people don't like the rind. And so once it starts getting hacked into, you know, people can kind of pick and choose it as they see fit. I usually put like a little knife, and I'll show you like the ones that I have in here, but I am going to be topping it with my fig butter. So what I ended up doing was just putting it in a little bowl and kind of like stirring it up so that it kind of has like a little bit of a consistency that's easier to work with. And I literally just kind of dollop it on the top here, give it a little swirl. Oh, I got a little bit more on there than I wanted to. Give it a little swirl, and that's it. And then that way, with every little scoop of cheese, you've got a little bit of fig butter on there. It's a little bit sweet. It's not too much, but it pairs really well with the cheese itself and tastes hella good on a cracker. So that is it. And I'll just stick a knife in there, and then people can kind of hack at it as they see fit. Next up is that sheep's milk cheese. And I did go ahead and pre-slice this. It was already kind of, it lent itself really well to just being sliced like this because it was in a little triangle shape. And so I'm going to just kind of go up in the corner here, and I'll just kind of lay it out. There we go. Now it's starting to cooperate with me. And again, remember, this is a trust the process. This is how you feel like it looks. Don't like get hung up on, oh, it has to be perfect. It has to look a certain way. It doesn't. It just has to look like you like it to look, you know? And then last up, I had those little marinated mozzarella balls, and I did contain those. I just put them in a little bowl here, and I always serve them up with a spoon. And for now, I'm going to put it there, but we'll see. We'll see. I always change things up, so we never know how it's going to end up, frankly. And because I've got this contained, I'm going to just go ahead and grab my olives that I put them in a little serving. I got these actually. Oh, that's trying to come out. I got these secondhand, these little milk glass bowls. So never, like, you know, check out like vintage stores, thrift stores, places like that will always like have fun little stuff like this that people have gotten rid of that you can use for charcuterie. And then I just kind of bump things over, not quite on the edge, but kind of close. But then in here I can fill in with like crackers or chocolates or whatever. And so you just kind of leave little spaces that feel good on your insides. Next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my prosciutto, and I just wanted to show you guys, I'm going to like show you how I do one, and then I'll just zoom through the rest of it. But I always just take it. They're always separated by these little sheets because prosciutto is sliced so thin. And so I always just take the first, or the little sliver. Sometimes it cooperates and sometimes it doesn't. And I just roll them. Just roll them into like little rolls, little roll guys. They do stick. This is why they separate them, because they stick to themselves. So actually maybe I'll have some better luck if I just try to pull it. Yeah. And then, you know, I will try to fluff it a little bit if I can, but if not, I don't get too pressed about it. And then I'm just going to lay it right like that. Let's see. Go ahead and pull this next one off. It just wouldn't be a simple budget video if I was not interrupted. I'm gonna just go ahead and pull this off. Oh, that's making it a little bit easier. And I'll probably zoom you guys through this because you don't need to sit here and watch me roll prosciutto. But this is just what we're doing. Just rolling and placing. And I know that there are probably countless videos that you could watch of people making these look pretty and flowery, and I will do that sometimes, but one of the things that I usually do a charcuterie board for is if I'm having, you know, like a big dinner at my house or something like that, and you know, anybody who has ever hosted a big dinner at their house can tell you, sometimes you don't have time to make your charcuterie. Like this is just like a little starter, and it's a great starter, but you don't always have the time to fuss and frill. I will say this, as much advanced prep work as you can do is wise, because like, especially if you're doing something where you're like slicing veggies and any cheeses that you can cut ahead of time and just like put in containers and keep in the fridge and just pull it all out and put it together at the last minute, definitely recommended for sure. Whenever you're hosting something, because it just makes it easier to manage your time because this is supposed to be fun and something that people can pick at. But yeah, so anything that you can do ahead of time is the way to go. And I'll probably actually move these up. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to move them up. And I know, you want to take into consideration people being able to access things, but also, it's art and it's fun to play with. And so just kind of play with it. And then maybe I'll just put some crackers in here too. One of the things that I will do, especially with like meats like this. So this is the capicola that I pulled. It's super easy, but then it has like a really fun presentation element to it. If you just, I kind of breezed through that. So you just take it, you fold it in half, and then you fold it in the quarter. Mr. Simple is off to the side right now.
Fancy Lunchable.
I mean, it's not a fancy Lunchable. Oh my goodness. So I'll just do that with...
You're just gonna have to wait.
He's filling up his water bottle for work. It's a very large water bottle.
That's what she said.
Oh my gosh. The poor people. When you're quite finished. All right, so I will grab them and stack them like this. And then I'll just kind of, once I have them all together in a stack, that's when I'll decide where to put them. And I know it doesn't look like a lot, but when it's all done, everything fills in really nicely. And like my grandmother used to say, when it's done, it's done. This is not an all-you-can-eat buffet. So keep that in mind when you're feeding people at your house. Don't worry about, obviously you want to make sure you have enough food for everybody, but something like this, it's just like a little fun something. And so you don't want to have to work. You don't want to feel bad about, not being able to fill everybody's tummies with something like this. So, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to kind of sit this on there. It'll kind of serve as like just like a little flower or something. It's not a flower, but just a little decorative. It just looks fun, And then I'm going to just take this salami and probably actually do the same thing with it. Because this isn't that applewood smoked salami that I showed you guys earlier. This is just the other salami that came in this like trio of charcuterie meats. So I'm going to just do the same thing and put this one kind of off to the side too. Oops. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to, be like, but that is pretty. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. Keep that in mind when you're throwing together something like this. And then I will just let that kind of, not flank, but surround that little container there. And so you're just kind of, sorry, that was like so loud in the background. You're just kind of filling in the board as you go, being a little decorative, having some fun with it. I did also cut up that truffle salami, and this is a fun one because it looks like this. So I just cut it into little discs. And so what I'm going to do with this one, I think, is just kind of put it here. Oops. And let that take up that little corner spot. I am not afraid of blank space on the charcuterie board. You shouldn't be either, because then the fun part is going in, because this is an excellent base. So we have most of our meats. I didn't put that other salami out yet, but we have most of our meats, our cheeses, and then you can kind of just see it come together and you create like a beautiful little, I don't know, it's like living art or something. So let me grab my other salamis. And I'm just gonna kind of play with this one. Oh, this one's really thin. So I guess I'm just gonna have to eat that, I know you guys don't want to hear me chewing in the background, but. Oh, you know what? This would be a great salami to do a salami rose with. So let me show you guys how to do that. Okay, I grabbed a little mason jar. You want something that actually has a narrow, this might even be too wide, but we're gonna play with it and see what we come up with. And this is all you do. You just go around and you layer your salami all the way around. Probably gonna speed you guys through this, but you'll still get to watch me. So I'm gonna just speed through at this point. Okay, so this is what we have. We've got like a little salami rose. I mean, this is like, I'm like rough and tumble on this one because I didn't like really spend a lot of time doing it, but the basic shape is there. Actually, let me see if I can like tighten it up a little bit. Barely, barely, but you guys get the point. Like when you play with that, oh my gosh, that was just a nightmare. The other way that you can do it actually is to create, maybe I'll do it this way. It might be better for this type of salami. Look, I told you guys, it's not gonna be perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect in order to be really lovely and something that you enjoy your final product of. So don't let that deter you. So here we go. So I got them all, I just folded them in half and lined them up like this. And then if you just rolled in. There you go. And you've got a little salami rose there. So we're just gonna tuck him up here. We'll see if we can surround him with some things. And actually, maybe I'll just put him on a bed of salami. And then we'll just surround him with other things. Cause then also, you know, we've got enough salami here for folks to enjoy. Okay, here we go. So one of the things that I like to do is, especially for people who aren't as familiar with charcuterie, is to make it as brainless as possible. That sounds really mean, but what I mean by this is if you do have certain ideas for things that pair really nicely together, put them close to each other. So like the capicola and the brie and the fig butter is going to taste really good together. But also I mentioned to you earlier that those little brioche toasts, this is what they look like, but they're really delicate. So like, I mean, they're nice and thick, but like they break really easily. I just so happen to open them really well and not like a Neanderthal. And so none of them are broken in the packaging right now, but that almost never happens. So because these breads these toasts are so big, they fill in a good chunk of our space here. And so that's, you know, I like to make sure that I'm leaving, I have, you know, consideration for that when I'm throwing things together on the board, because you want to make sure you have enough space for your crackers. So just go ahead and let them fill in that big space there. These are not, we might get to see one break. Oh no, okay, they're making a liar out of me. But I think this will probably be plenty for this particular board. So I like to put the things close together that match really well. These taste so good with just brie, and I mean, they taste good by themselves. They taste good if you put meat on them, but I prefer just the brie and the fig butter on them. I think that it's just like a really, really good flavor combo. And so that's why, so that there's no guesswork when you've got company over. It's like, oh, this is close to this. Maybe that works really well together. That sort of thing. So didn't want to hide my other salami over here. And so that's it for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my other these guys are a little bit longer, and fill in, I already opened it, but it's being difficult. Fill in another little gap here. So these look like this. They're so cool. And then I will just go ahead and kind of like fan them a little bit and just plop them right in there. And this is one, like, it's like I mentioned earlier when I was showing them to you guys, they are just a great little cracker that goes with everything. And so you really don't need to be worried about like where you place them on your board, because they're going to be so enjoyable. They go really well by themselves, and they taste really good with any kind of meat, any kind of cheese, because they're so like mildly flavored, you know? So just go ahead and do a little something. I mean, you can turn them however. You can have them look like that. Maybe that's how I'll leave them. That actually looks really pretty. So yeah, and then boom, there you go. You filled in more of your board. Last up, I probably sound so far away from you guys at this point. Last up on our cracker train were these little cranberry and hazelnut crispy thingy-mabobbers. And this is one that I'm just gonna kind of fill in actually around this little bowl, because I don't personally, I think that they've got enough like sweetness and flavor in them that they don't need to be paired with the brie and the fig jam or fig butter. It's fig butter. I keep saying fig jam, but it's actually fig butter. And there's a difference, and it's just the difference is in the way that it's made. So that's, apparently we have to honor that in the food world. So yeah, so then that's just kind of filled in. And then what's left is all of our little accoutrements. So what I'll do is take the nuts and just fill them in. You can contain these if you want, but I like to just kind of throw them on the board. One, because if the rosemary flavor hits any of this, that's just not a bad thing, because the rosemary is super complimentary. But I just think it looks pretty. See, and you got a nice little filler there. You got to taste test them, right? Oh yeah, those are good. Those are good. And then we have these little sea salt caramels, if you remember from earlier. And they come all pretty in the box. And let me tell you something. Dark chocolate, sea salt, and caramel. Such a fantastic flavor combo. And we're just gonna kind of place them here to fill in this little area. And actually, I probably would have extended like the nuts all the way around, but you guys get the point, right? Oop, I'm really struggling to get these things out. Oh, well, that's a way of doing it. Well, I got a few. And again, you can like make it as full and, you know, lush looking as you want, or you can keep it super minimal and have more space in between. There are people who fill in with greenery and fill in with herbs and all kinds of stuff. It just depends upon you and what you think looks pretty, what you think looks good. I'm gonna create a little arch because I just think that's pretty. And then last up, I'm just gonna grab these little toffee bits and add them in. On this side. So we've got some little crunchy toffee bits. Right here. Because I actually like a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of caramel with something like so salty, you know? I think that's a really nice flavor combo. And then I'm gonna just go back through here and fill in around my little rows. Whoops. Oh, this guy fell over. That was rude. All right, well, we can prop him up with nuts. That's what we're gonna do. Because he shouldn't have fallen. that works. Oh, see. And then very last. And I mean, that's it. That's how she looks. This is how we're presenting her to everybody. But then last up, if you have little spready guys, so I will always put like a little tong here just so that people can like grab. I mean, generally speaking, like, okay, this is probably not OSHA certified, you know, but like, know what family gathering is, you know? So not OSHA. We're just gonna call it OSHA. You know, the government agencies that like to tell you how to be healthy, even though the government's not healthy. Anyway, just kind of put these out here so that people can kind of pick up and grab things as they see fit. But also, like, I'm just not afraid of people grabbing things with hands. And then these little, I love these. So I actually got these for Christmas last year. This is from, I think they're called like Farmhouse Pottery or something. I'll link them if I can find them down below for you guys, because this was a beautiful cheese board set. It came with 4 of them, but this is like, I'm just going to put this in with the brie because this cheese you can just kind of grab either with a small fork or your hands, and I'll kind of show you guys what I have as well for that. But I just always put like the first little slice in there, and then people can kind of just grab at it and spread it on their plate or put it on a cracker or whatever. And then I'll show you what I have for this stuff. Okay, I decided to grab another little set of these tongs. These actually were from the Chip and Joanna section at Target. I'm not sure if they still have them. If they do, I'll link those too. And I'll just kind of put that there so that people can just kind of grab things. I have a little vintage spoon that I picked up, and these are gonna go in with my marinated mozzarella, because I want people, I always leave a little bit of the oil and herbs in the bottom so that if people want to scoop that onto their plate, they can too, because it tastes really delicious. I do have these little scoopy guys so that, you know, if people want to, you know, scoop up the nuts with them, they can do that. If not, I don't really think it's necessary. But it's something that you can add like off to the side or whatever for folks. And then I picked up these little forks. I mean, you'll be shocked. Also from the Chip and Joanna section at Target a while ago. It was like a little 4-pack of appetizer forks and then a 4-pack of appetizer spoons, and I have those too. And these I always put in the olives because I like people to be able to like stab and grab their olives, which sounds so aggressive, but also, I mean, sometimes it just feels good. Anyways, that's it, guys. That's our charcuterie board. That is how to throw one together. It is not perfect, but it's going to feed people and it's going to make them so happy. I mean, listen, full disclosure, I would fix this if I was like presenting this to like, you know, family and friends or whatever, but you also, I mean, it's, you know, we got it sorted, but this is it. This is how you throw together a charcuterie board. It's actually not that much stuff. It doesn't take that much time. And you can make it look however you want. You can be as artistic as you like. You can be as organic with it as you like. There are 1,000,001 videos for how to make your meats look pretty and your cheeses look pretty. I just kind of like to throw it together for it to be family style, but I totally get, you know, why you might want it to look really fancy and really elegant. Sometimes I really get in those moods and I do those too. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the important thing to remember is you're feeding people that you love, you're eating food that you love, and that's really just kind of what it's about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know that this is like a little bit of a, you know, well, it's atypical to my usual content, so I hope that you enjoy it. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below and let me know if you have any questions. I'm so happy to answer them for you guys. And let me know if you learned a little something from this. And if this is something that you like, if you wouldn't mind if I did something like this every now and then. I don't even know what I would do, but this was super fun to like shop for and plan for and throw together for you guys. So I'm loving it. And as always, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you did. So thank you, thank you. And yeah, I'm just going to see you guys on Friday with our weekly check-in. And until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see y'all then. Bye, everyone.